Not many knew, but rumors began to circulate from behind the glass walls of HYBE headquarters in Yongsan. The unnamed staffers began leaking conversations in the boardroom that there were internal concerns about how the layover could disrupt BTS's long-term strategy as a collective brand. HYBE was never really prepared for the possibility that one of the members would shine too much alone, said a former marketing project manager who said he left because he was frustrated with the direction of management policy. V is a wild card. Artistic, full of intuition, and not always obedient to the formulas they like. According to the source, the Layover promotion team was initially prepared on a large scale. But slowly funding was diverted to other projects including the launch of Jungkook's solo album and the preparation of activities for HYBE subsidiaries such as New Jeans and Ellie Seraphim. You can see for yourself. V ads in Seoul are fewer. Billboards are late. There was no press conference as usual. More surprisingly, the source claims that HYBE once considered delaying the release of the Layover for 2 whole months for logistical reasons, when all the material was already completed. Taehyung himself refused. He said, if they delay, he'll release himself. HYBE had no choice but to relent, but the grudge was still felt in the way they kept it in a private interview that was shared on a limited basis with some Japanese media. V revealed that he worked a lot on the Layover album independently. Producer Min Hee-jin of ADR, a subsidiary of HYBE as well, was handpicked by V because he was comfortable with a non-mainstream artistic approach. However, this decision was touted as a bold move that the HYBE leadership did not like. He is not following a template that has proven successful. He rejected heavy choreography, opting for slow ballad and R&B moods. It's not an easy-to-sell K-pop product, according to the bigwigs, said one ADR executive who asked not to be identified. More than that, V was also mentioned several times rejecting the marketing ideas proposed by the HYBE team. They want gimmicks. He wants honesty. Layover is a love letter. But for HYBE, it was too quiet, too soft for the thrill-hungry industry. And when V finally released the Layover, tears broke out in the small rehearsal room with the staff who actually helped him from the start. One of the choreographers said, Taehyung knew he was going against the flow. But he also knew that artistic truth does not come from the abundance of advertising, but from the silence that touches the heart. ARMY is not just a fandom, they are a community trained to read every little detail. When there were no photos of V on HYBE's official account during the release Layover, the fans reacted immediately. When pre-orders for the album closed early with the excuse of out of stock, thousands of fans tweeted the hashtags #RespectTaehyung and #HYBE Stop Ignoring V globally. A viral thread from ARMY Korea's account outlined 17 instances in 6 months where V didn't get full support from the agency, ranging from not being included in BTS's solo artist compilations to reluctance to release exclusive Layover merchandise like it did for Jimin and Jungkook. But the peak occurred during a mini-concert in Paris. V performed solo, singing Slow Dancing and Love Me Again, against a minimalist backdrop. As the video spread, fans began to question, why can't an agency as big as HYBE provide a more grandiose stage for a V-class artist? He's like a prince thrown into battle without a weapon, but still able to win the battle with words, wrote one French fan in a blog that has now been translated into 12 languages. Moving on to Chapter 5. In the next section, we'll uncover rumors of a secret meeting between V and CEO HYBE, as well as the shocking news that V considered leaving the agency before enlisting. Ready to go? Okay. We move on to Chapter 5, and get ready, because this part will go into a deeper realm, more emotional, and can make anyone, especially the ARMY, goosebumps at the same time angry. One afternoon in May 2023. Just weeks after the Layover was completed, V reportedly attended a closed-door meeting on the highest floor of the HYBE building. No regular staff. No camera. Only 4 people, V, the legal representative, and the 2 highest executives in the management ranks. The meeting lasted 47 minutes, and according to one of the insiders known as K, the content of the conversation was electrifying. V asked about the possibility of an amicable termination of the contract. He came quietly, not angry, but clearly disappointed. She said, I wonder what my options would be if I felt this was no longer the place to grow up. It's a sentence that makes the whole room quiet, said K. The question does not mean that he immediately wants to get out, but rather a silent ultimatum. V realized that Layover promotion continued to be slowed, that his artistic input was being sidelined, and that his name was increasingly being overlooked in the company's official narrative. But what made fans' hearts break the most was when K claimed to hear V say one sentence that was like breaking a glass of trust between the artist and the agency. "I don't want to be buried alive just because I didn't follow their mold." The sentence describes the inner conflict experienced by V. He wants to remain loyal to BTS and the army, but feels that he is being sacrificed behind the scenes for vague agendas. Unlike other idols who might make long live streams or tweet controversial things, V chose a different path: silence. But in his silence, he moves. He released acoustic dance practice videos. He released behind-the-scenes photos without watermark HYBE. He appeared on variety shows that were not facilitated by the agency, and when interviewed, he mentioned more personal teamwork than label. Army began to realize that V's every move felt like a form of silent protest. Even in one of the interviews with Vogue Korea, he was asked about how he reacts to uneven highlights and promotions, and V's answer made fans touched. "Sometimes the sun doesn't always shine on all the flowers in the same garden. But the flowers are still blooming. On its own, it will suck." The quote went viral instantly. Armies from different countries interpreted it as a subtle allusion to HYBE, about how V chose the path of silence, yet remained strong and elegant. It does not attack frontally, but neither does it bow. The question now: why does HYBE seem to cool Project V? Theories that develop in industry circles refer to the direction of BTS's branding as a group. Since the solo era began, many analysts have suggested that too much individual success could upset BTS's overall brand balance, especially if the artist has a too free creative voice. HYBE was afraid of AV being too independent, said a former creative team. "He's not the type to be completely controlled. He likes experiments. He could release Jazz today, then next month a collaboration with a French indie." It freaked them out. To make matters worse, there was an internal conflict between the ADR department, which assisted V, and HYBE's central management. Sources said that Min Heejin's involvement in the layover was never wanted by some higher-ups. It's an independent project, and his success even became a problem because it showed HYBE no longer had a monopoly on creativity. From this, it follows speculation that the subtle boycott of Layover is actually not just a matter of personal V, but of a power struggle within HYBE's own body. Day after day, Layovers continue to break records. Without big promos, without exclusive concerts, without additional physical releases, V proves that true power comes from a genuine relationship between the artist and his fans. Songs like Blue and For Us became anthems for many who felt misunderstood by the system. V not only made the album, he created emotional protection for those who felt marginalized, including himself. V doesn't talk much, but his music is like a scream in silence, wrote one Indonesian fan whose letter was read by V indirectly in a live broadcast. And we, the army, hear it with the same heart. Chapter 9 will be the most exciting part. HYBE will be caught trying to silence an internal whistleblower who wants to defend V.